Follow me. It's just down to the southeast a short ways.
If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin to tell the law. Be sure it's true when you say I love you, honey. You got sense enough to know it's a sin to tell a lie. Whole lot of folks' heart is done been broke. Over a whole lot of foolish work that's been spoken. I love you, yes I do. I long. If you break my
Hear that up on the ridge behind me there? We got some geckos to clear out. Bunch of little monsters is what they are. Seems like Doc Mitchell treats more gecko bites than anything else. Let's see if we can get a little closer. If we move quietly, we can get the jump on them. More likely to hit something vital that way. Okay, you're on. Go give him hell.
be sure it's true.
You're getting the hang of it. There's 2 more wells that still need clearing. You want, you can come along. It'd be worth a few caps to me.
You came back but never meant to stay. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win.
Shouldn't take more than a couple minutes, especially with 2 of us. Come with me.
Heartache number 3 was when you called. Lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, that's the day my world will end.
Howdy.
I've drank and I've rambled and I've rodeoed around. Never once thought of settling.
Now that was some good work. Even got a little exciting there at the end. Here's a little spending money for the trouble. One more thing I wanted to show you. Thought I might teach you about living off the land and making useful things for yourself. Interested?
Made up my mind a long time ago.
Alright then. We'll need a couple ingredients to get started. Gonna want some xander root and a brock flower. Let me think now. I know I've seen brock flowers growing up at the graveyard, and I seem to remember there being xander root over by the schoolhouse. Bring those on back to me, and we'll get cooking.
To the sunset together, step to step, side by side. When the day is through, I'll be here with you. Into the sunset we will ride.
I'll be your cowgirl, you'll be my cowboy.
You'll be my dead. I'll be your rose. When the day is done, homeward will be waiting. Like a movie with a happy ending. Let's ride into
And welcome back. We are actually going to have an interview right now with the Mega Man X1 3-team relay race. So I'm going to throw it over to Darkman and the interview desk.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to ADK 2019. I am Darkman78, and I have with me three fantastic individuals. We have Walrus Prime, Sofa, and Colmo Fatso. So these three players are part of the X1 through 3 Team relay race. So we're playing Mega Man X1, X2, X3 back to back, 3 teams. We're gonna have 3 players racing off against, or 3 teams racing off against each other, and we'll see who's gonna come on top. So, thank you for having us. So I'll go ahead and start with you, Walrus. You were kind of like the de facto organizer of this relay event. Tell me how it kind of came together.
Well, last year, after the classic Mega Relay was such a big hit, Michael Yamamoto personally told me I did not have a choice. I had to do a Mega Man X1 relay race this year, so I told him it might be a pretty
Howdy.
tough ask, but we're able to pull it off and pull together some really amazing countries.
Play the guitar,
And I kind of want to talk a little bit about
play
these
it
different-
again,
Here's the perfect segue.
my Johnny.
So you, of course, are from Finland. So you one of the 4 international
Maybe
artists
you're
in this relays. We have you from Finland, we got Manu,
but you're so
Miguel from Brazil, and we have, of course, Paul Basso right next to you from Canada. So talk to me about you, your experience coming here to be part of this event.
It's been pretty crazy. I've been attending European events like this, but they're nothing compared to this. This is something different. Okay?
I like it. So now, Basso, for you, you have been part of the big races before, right? You've been part of the X race. So you've done some racing before on these games, so you're familiar. But how is this relay setting different than those races?
Howdy, partner. Might I say you're looking fit as a fiddle?
Scope is a little bit bigger, right?
What if you stay?
And
Don't mention it.
yeah,
I'm always ready to lend a helping hand to a stranger in
if
need.
I mess up in a solo race, then oh well, I lost the race. No matter.
I was out for a stroll that night when I heard the commotion up at the old bone orchard. Saw what looked like a bunch of bad eggs, so I laid low. Once they'd run off, I dug you up to see if you were still kicking. Turns out you were, so I hauled you off to the dock right quick. I'm a Securitron, Robco Security Model 2060B. If you ever see any of my brothers, tell them Victor says howdy. Happy trails! Howdy, partner. Happy trails.
There was never
It's a sin to keep this memory of you when silence proves that you've forgotten me. The dream I built for us has tumbled. Each
The ghost of the first game I owned, and it took me 19
like
years
my
to beat.
heart.
Way to show me up, guys.
It's a sin.
Good luck on the
my
run.
darling,
We're not gonna
I
finish the run.
love you
Keep going up.
so
Alright,
much
we have
in
25 bucks from
love.
delete option.
When
Oh,
you're
nice.
so
Hello, enemy. It is I, delete
far
option, the guy who's good at Monopoly.
Yes.
I am glad to catch the run, as you are one of my favorite runners.
Oh, thank you so much.
I hope you end up with a nice time. Also glad to see some visuals and ghosts in GDQ. Please put this towards your run.
Darling, the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew my rambling days were through.
Made up my mind a long time ago. When the right man came along, somehow I'd known. Heart is true, eyes as blue, and a smile as wide as the western sky.
Let's ride into the sunset together, stirrup to stirrup, side by side. When the day is through, I'll be here with you. Into the sunset we will ride.
Howdy, partner.
I'll be your cowgirl, you'll be my cowboy.
You'll be my Dale, I'll be your Roy. When the day is done, homeward we'll be waiting, like a movie with a happy ending. Let's ride into the sunset together, stirrup to stirrup, side by side. When the day is through, I'll be here with you. Into the sunset we will ride. You'll
Be sure it's true when you say I'm alone. It's a sin to tell, millions of hearts have been broken because these words were spoken. Yes, I love. If you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you say I love you. It's a sin.
be sure it's true when you say I love you, honey. Oh, you got to say I love you. It's a sin of a lie. Whole lot of folks' hearts been broken. This word that's been spoken.
I if you break my heart, I'll die. So be sure it's true when you say I love you.
Let me see what you got. Yeah, these'll do just fine. Just fine. All right, now. We're gonna be making something folks on the trail call healing powder. Go on over to that campfire now. Give it a try. Hey, that's not bad, see? All it takes to make a recipe is the right ingredients and the right know-how. Sometimes it won't be a campfire you need. Might need to do some work on your guns and ammo, maybe. Important thing to get is it's all the same idea. You just need to find the right place to set up shop. Workbench or reloading bench, whatever. Well, I hope that's enough to get you started. I'm heading back now. Hope I didn't miss anything good on the jukebox. Cheyenne would never forgive me. Hey, do me a favor. Trudy, she's the bartender up at the Prospector. Kind of the town mom. She likes to meet newcomers. She'd be cross with me if I didn't ask you to poke your head in and say hi.
Done being nice. If you don't hand Ringo over soon, I'm going to get my friends and we're burning this town to the ground. Got it?
We'll keep that in mind. Now, if you're not going to buy something, get out. Hello. Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon. I'm sure I've got...
This old house ain't a home with no love inside it. But we set out pretty strong. Now we just can't fight it. Tell me even today. I don't wanna argue or shy. You let the blues move in, now I'm moving out. What's the use in buying?
Give me a shout if you need anything else. Looks like our little town got itself dragged into the middle of something we don't want anything to do with. About a week ago, this traitor, Ringo, comes into town. Survivor of an attack, he says. Bad men after him. Needs a place to hide. We figured he was just in shock, so we gave him a place to lie low. We didn't actually expect anyone to come after him. He's holed up at the abandoned gas station up the hill. You mean murder him? That's not our way, even if Cobb is scum. He can bluster and threaten all he wants. Some of the others, like Sonny, will probably stand up for Ringo if he asks for help, which he hasn't. Personally, I hope he sneaks out of town one night and takes the powder gangers with him. Chain gangs, really. The NCR brought them in from California to work on the rail lines. Problem is, it turns out that giving convicts a bunch of dynamite and blasting powder isn't the best idea. It was a big escape not too long ago. Some of them stuck together so they could make trouble. That's what we're dealing with now. If you were able to get Ringo out of this mess, you'd have a decent reputation around Good Springs. Of course, helping Ringo would also make the powder gangers mad. And they've got a lot of friends out there. Don't know why you'd want to do a thing like that. Yep, you'd get on their good side, but people around here wouldn't appreciate it one bit. He's a convict, just without the chains. Said his name was Cobb. Powder gangers is what they... Not much, other than they're a bunch of freeloaders who expected a few rounds on the house. I was able to get them to pay up, though. Of course, one of the great cons did knock my radio to the floor by accident, and it hasn't been working since. They were having some kind of argument about it, but the guy in the checkered coat kept shushing them. Sounded like they came in from the north through Quarry Junction. If that's the case, I can't say I blame them for not wanting to go back. That whole area is overrun with the kind of critters that just get mad if you shoot them. Merchants avoid that whole stretch of I-15 like it's radioactive, which it could be for all I know. I didn't hear exactly, but the leader was talking about the strip. Fellow wants to get there and avoid the 15, he'd have to go east. Take Highway 93 up. Sure, the outside looks okay, but I think there'd be caps in it for you. I do like to hear what's going on in the world. I know that thing as much as anyone else around here. It mostly keeps to itself, which is just fine by me. Other than rolling around once in a while, it doesn't do it. I don't know why it took an interest in you, but I'd be careful. It acts friendly enough, but I don't trust that whole cheerful cowboy act. I find it all very creepy. It was here when I took over the saloon 7 years ago. Some people have said its owner lived. Mostly traders looking to buy bighorn or meat and hides. The traders are the main reason the general store manages to stay in business. Most travelers heading south on the I-15 just push on towards Prim, unless they're in desperate need of supplies. There's always something interesting going on, but the biggest news has to be the coming dust-up between the NCR and the Legion over the dam. The new California Republic's got the most power in Nevada. Money, troops, you name it. They do what they can to keep things safe in the region. But if you ask me, they're trying to do too much. They're spread too thin. I'm pretty sure the NCR wants to hold on to the dam because it's one of the few places around that can make electricity. The Legion are a bunch of savages, though. No idea why they'd want the dam. Probably plan on destroying it or something. Slavers, killers, and all other kinds of trouble. They dress up like Roman soldiers, so there's no mistaking it when you see them. The rumor is that the Legion is far larger than the NCR lets on, and that it's been due to luck that the Legion hasn't overrun the territory. Feeling thirsty? Yeah, I heard it turn right back on after. I could get another.
Howdy. What? The one in the fancy suit seemed to be calling the shots. Word of advice, though, if you ever catch up with him, watch out. Bad. Was a prospector until I decided to settle here to get away from the NCR. Now, just take it easy and help out with the Brahmin and Bighorners. Nah. Means I poke through old buildings looking for working tech and such. Some folks just call it salvaging, but never liked the term. The way I see it, salvage means it's broken, near worthless. Me, I look for the good stuff. Guns, chems, spare parts. Good money in it. Nope. Had a pretty good claim once, way out east by the river, but got run off by raiders. Eventually got too old to keep going out. Don't get me wrong, the NCR's got a lot of decent folk in it. It's just that they make you part of them whether you like it or not. Towns like Good Springs and Prim don't stay independent for long, not if you've got something the NCR wants. Still, the NCR keeps the Legion away. They're slavers, led by a guy named Caesar, or Caesar. Not sure how you're supposed to say it. A couple of years ago, they tried to take over Hoover Dam, but the NCR beat them back. The NCR didn't or couldn't finish the job, though. The Legion's got its strength back and is getting ready for another round at the dam. My money's still on the NCR winning, but you never know. We've been hearing stories about legionaries on the Nevada side of the river, so keep a gun handy. You don't want to get caught by them. The dam powers a lot of New Vegas, and then there's all that clean water lying in Lake Mead, too. Anybody who owns the dam owns the territory. Meat and hide, mostly. Can't put a pack on them. You just lay down until you take it off. Can find a bunch of wild ones high up in the hills, but gotta be careful around them. They can put up a decent fight if cornered. The machine? Harmless, no matter what Trudy says. She thinks it's hiding something, but I think it's just a broken down relic with no place to be.
And we're back. This is Mr. New Vegas, and I feel something magic in the air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the gamma radiation. Well, you know what that means, folks. Time for some news. The influx of displaced residents to the refugee camp at Bitter Springs has caused a strain on rations there. NCR officials are asking for donations. You know, I think all news, whether it's good or bad, brings us closer together. Don't you? Got some Dean Martin coming up, talking about the greatest feeling in the world, love. Ain't that a kick in the head? Sure is. Dino, it sure is.
Did fix the fight. It's likely that all he would have been kept out of it. The mob would typically only make arrangements with the loser being cited. It's worth noting that conspiracies about the mob followed Liston until his untimely death at 38 in 1970. The authorities cited lung congestion and heart failure for his cause of death, but alternative theories include a heroin overdose as evidence from needle marks in his arm, or a potential murder by the mob. Carried out their plan. Do you owe them even more money, perhaps? Or he's like, I'm gonna tell him and we'll fix it. I don't know. All I know is this weird fight happens 5 years later. He's done. The second theory is that all these affiliation with the Nation of Islam contributed to the fix. This affiliation created controversy leading up to the fight and added to the speculation about its results. Malcolm X and all these tied together before his Nation of
That's
Islam
close enough. Who are you, and what do you want with me? Sorry about the gun. You just caught me off guard, that's all. You got off to a bad start. Let's say we start over with a friendly game of Caravan. You know how to play? Yeah. He doesn't look very tough, though. I hear he's afraid I'll shoot him down from one of the windows when I see him. And he's right. I'll have a much bigger problem once his friends show up. There's no way I could handle all of them in a gunfight.
So they were afraid that someone was going to
I'm gonna lay low for as long as I can, assuming the town doesn't throw me to the wolves. I've got no chance against the gang on my own.
Some speculated that Liston worried
We'd just end up sharing the same grave if it's just the two of us. Nah.
Ali was apparently concerned
Start with Sunny Smiles. She's...
In typical Ali fashion, he said, quote, "You're going to scare Sunny? That man don't have the mind like I do. I can cope with the rumors, but don't go scaring Sunny." End quote. Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest trash talkers I've ever had. This guy said, "Hey man, I don't want to get shot, but dude over there is a little fragile." Yeah. So he might be shaking in his boots. Take it easy when you're talking all this talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program. This is Mr. New Vegas, and each and every one of you is wonderful in your own special way. Whoops, better put on my newsman fedora here. Troubling news from Prem, as merchants report a large presence of armed, unsavory figures patrolling the town. Residents are nowhere to be found. Also, the Helios 1 solar power plant remains dormant despite NCR's effort to reactivate the facility. The chief scientist at the plant vowed to fix the problem, blaming it on an atmosphere of, quote, severe underappreciation. These headlines were brought to you by Vault 21. Vault 21. Everything's better when you experience it in a vault. Got a song for you now. It's about a guy who's cold on the exterior, but deep down, you know, he's a good man. And his name is Johnny Guitar.
Play the guitar, play it again, my Johnny. Maybe you're cold, but you're so warm inside. I was always a fool for my Johnny.
Many years later, in a Sports Illustrated interview from 1951, in the words of report William Mack, quote, "One of Liston's assistant trainers claims that Liston entered the fight for fear of being murdered.
King now says that two well-dressed black Muslims showed up in Maine before the fight, and Ward listed, you get killed if you win. So, according to King, Liston posed a safer enemy. End quote.
No, this just sounds like he's just lost and he's making excuses.
Oh, like sour grapes, because this is an assistant trainer.
Exactly. They're saying, like, the only way he could possibly lose to Muhammad Ali a second time is if he threw it because he was afraid he was going to get killed.
You know what? Maybe
The dude got taken out by a big punch and that's embarrassing.
Some years later, Liston told Mark Cram of Sports Illustrated, quote, that guy Ali was crazy. I didn't want anything to do with him. And the Muslims were coming up. We needed that. So I went down. I wasn't hit. And though he always denied being a part of the mix. However, it's important to note Liston's accounts of the fight changed over time. So they may
Hi
not
there.
realize
Stick it.
this one.
But why in the world would Liston say that he
Say no.
threw it?
He went back and forth on what he said.
Joe Cobb
I
talks
think
about
there's a
leaving us
case
alone if we hand over Ringo, but I know his type. He and his friends will come after the town eventually. However, between you, me, and Ringo, we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. A lot of people around here look up to Trudy. If you could convince Trudy to join us, some of the folks in town might decide to help out as well. I know Easy Pete's got a stock of dynamite somewhere, and Chet just got a shipment of leather armor we could borrow. Talk to them as well. Finally, there's a good chance we'll all end up with extra holes in us. So if Doc Mitchell could cough up some extra stim packs, that'd be great.
That's right. I think that's
A
fair.
silver tongue would help.
Anytime the mom
Convincing
plays
Trudy that we had a good plan to win the fight would also
Yeah,
help.
little sketch.
In Sports Illustrated, text
I don't think give is in Chet's vocabulary. Even with the town at stake, he'd still make you barter with him. Easy Pete's pretty protective of his dynamite. You'd have to convince him you know a thing or two about it.
in a bizarrely upbeat tone. Quote,
Sure can.
I didn't think he could hit that hard.
NCR
But I couldn't pick up the count. I could have continued if I had picked up the count. And
Not in Good Springs, no. But if you're up for a little scavenging, there's always the schoolhouse. Most of what's in there is junk, but there's this old safe that even Easy Pete wasn't able to crack with dynamite. If you want to take a shot at it, take these. If the lock's too much for you to handle, reading through the magazine might give you the edge you need. You'll need those to pick the lock. Oh. Well, go ahead and keep the stuff I gave you anyway. I hunt geckos mostly. The meat's pretty good and I can always find a buyer for the hides. I also help keep the town clear of rat scorpions and coyotes. Not many people live in Good Springs, so wildlife is always creeping in. Sure. Southeast of here is Prim. Can't miss it. Since it has the giant old roller coaster right in the middle of town. The NCR's got an outpost there. If you follow the road north, you'll eventually hit Sloan and Quarry Junction. They mine rocks or something, but I heard they got troubles lately. I wouldn't head that direction if I were you, though. Got critters up there that don't take kindly to getting shot. The new California Republic. Bunch of they can be right pushy, but the roads are safer because of them, so I tend to let it go. Not that I got a choice. Well, the wildlife, for one thing. They're protecting their own. Just happens to help us. They've been holding off this other group from the east, too. Got a funny name. Call themselves Caesar's Legion. Never seen them in these parts, so I couldn't tell you much. I hear rumors, that's about it. Supposedly they keep slaves and they got some real nasty ways of killing folks. But maybe that's just something folks in the NCR cooked up to make themselves seem more useful here. Less uninvited. Around here, mostly coyotes and geckos. The coyotes are pretty dangerous and the geckos aren't too tough, but they've got a nasty bite. I've heard about bigger. Stick to the roads when you can, and steer clear of the hills north of Good Spring. If you
Heartache number 3 was when you called me and said that you were coming back to stay. With hopeful heart I waited for you, knocked on the door. I waited but you must have lost your way. Yes, I've got heartaches by
You looking to buy some supplies? Now just hold on. I never voted to take on the Powder Gangers. That's 1,000. Look, you're bringing this on yourself. This again.
But the day that I stopped counting, that's the day my world.
Weapon mods are things like special ammo includes things like armor. There's also hollow point bullets, which have the opposite effect. You can kill unarmored targets easier, but they don't do shit against armor. If Ringo doesn't head out on his own, I think we should hand him over. The town shouldn't get its... Don't mistake that for coward talk, though. We're a town of survivors. We'll fight. The leader was a New Vegas type. Typical the great... Twice. Both times I drank a lot of liquor and lost most of my caps at the card tables. In that order, now that I think about it. If you ever get to New Vegas, be sure to visit Gomorrah. It's the best casino in the city. You won't regret it. Word of advice, behave. Between the NCR and military, I'm afraid I don't know much myself. Mr. House has got his own casino, Lucky 38, but nobody goes in or out except his robots. The other casinos follow Mr. House's rules, so I guess that makes him the leader of New Vegas. As far as I know, nobody's ever laid eyes on the guy. I think that robot who pulled you out of the dirt belongs to Mr. House. If Mr. House is looking after you, it's got to be a good thing, right? They're tough sons of bitches. Mean, but not crazy. They'll leave you alone unless you got something they want. The great cons deal in illegal chems. There's a good chance that most chems you come across were made by great cons.
Somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold.
Welcome back. I had hoped you wouldn't need... Seems like wherever I go, it's always this... Oh, I'm not much good in a fight with my bum leg. And my... Well... Well, ain't we all, right? This here's Good Springs, named after the water. It's a quiet town, and that's how we like it. We don't go looking for trouble, though occasionally it sees fit to come looking for us. Well, there's a general store just up the road, run by a fella named Chet. If you're looking to wet your whistle, just past Chet's is the Prospector Saloon. The bartender there... Other than that, there's not much to see. Just people trying... That'd be Victor. Curious fella. He's sort of odd, and I don't just mean because he's a rope. He's real friendly, don't get me... He keeps to himself,
Hey,
mostly. You want to know more?
How was it? Just You didn't?
Question. What's the name of that place we went for Mother's Day brunch? Oh, my brother. It's really good. We went there also for like a week.